Hello, welcome back to Every Way Woman, and here we are with the greatest mother in the world, my mother, Miss Patricia Hollis.
Well, thank you. You know you're coming back home with me tonight, so you had to say that.
Now, you raised me as a single parent.
Yes.
And it was 1973.
Yes, it was. A long time ago.
And I know how my grandmother was.
Yes.
Nobody wanted you to have me, but you still did.
Yes, I did.
You don't regret that decision?
No, I don't.
Awesome.
Yeah, wonderful. It's the best decision I've ever made. There will be no regrets. And your grandmother wanted to take, as you know, decided that you were her baby. So yes, and we got a lot of support at all times from your grandmother.
Did you find it difficult or easy? Or?
No, it was not difficult. You know, I didn't find it difficult at all.
Yeah.
And it really, truly was the biggest blessing in my life, truly, and it wasn't difficult.
You know, Pat, I wanted to ask you, back in the day, it was common for the grandparents to take the children, if you weren't married.
Right.
What do you think about that? Because it was really common.
Well, I don't know. My mother did not take Tasha, but not because my mother didn't want to, but like, no, you're not. And then also, it wasn't like I was a teenager at the time. I was grown, had a job, had my own home and everything. So I didn't have that type of dependence on my mother. So there was not a question. I think in some circumstances, as I said, everyone's circumstance is different. I think it really depends on the child's parent, how if they're able to bring the child up.
Also, too, when you
not.
raised me, my father passed away when I was a kid.
Right.
I was 10.
Yeah.
So even previous, you didn't really have any help from him. But then afterwards, you had to deal with that.
Right, you know.
Do you think there's a stigmatism on being a single mom here in society now?
Not now. It's a huge, not as much now, I don't think. It's very strange because when I had Tasha, it was not as much of a stigma as it was just a few years previous when I was in high school, and a friend of mine, she was in the class ahead of me, had a child out of wedlock, and we went to Catholic school.
So you think it's because she was a teenager and she
and then I think also the mores had changed a little bit in just like 4 or 5 years.
Because we did a segment earlier, and there's a lot of push even now where people are talking about the choices that mothers are making to have children. Jennifer Aniston was on the magazine, and they were saying, why is she having a baby on her own? So I wanted to know really how much have we progressed in your mind?
I'm not sure that we have. I take that back. We have progressed quite a bit. As I said, from the time when I was in high school in the 60s to when I had Tasha in 73, it was a huge difference. And as I said, I was also grown by then. But I think a lot of it also depends. I think it's ideal situation if you have a mate. Both parents. That's ideal. That's ideal. But sometimes things don't work out that way.
Also,
and Tasha's father was wonderful, but he was just
the other thing too.
Let's get off that one quick.
He's a wonderful person. But
the other thing too is also being a black woman, and also too how you deal with the stereotype, because I don't have any kids yet, but I still always feel that stereotype where it's like they automatically expect us to have kids, like they automatically expect us to be single mothers.
See, when I was coming up, it was different. And then another thing was different with me was Mama Mila, Tasha's grandmother.
Yeah, it was all up in the business.
She was all up in the business. And she raised, my mother was married, but she divorced my father when I was an infant. So I was not used to having a father around. I was used to a matriarchal home.
Let me ask you a question, and I'm always, Natasha's beautiful. There's no doubt about it. She's very well.
I'll give you your money back later.
Yeah, really.
I gotta pay something.
That big head.
I wanted to ask you, what is a tip that you can give me? I'm raising 2 daughters that could produce young ladies who look like her. She's very well kept, and she's a lady.
Your daughters are wonderful. I was going to ask you for some tips to see if I can go.
We can talk later, okay? But how do you? Because there's a difference now. I don't see a lot of ladies being raised. I see that girls, but raising a lady.
I think because, as I said, I went to Catholic school,
and she was always yelling and hollering at me.
Yes, I was. And when I was growing up, my grandmother was really involved in me, with me, and my grandmother was a lot older for grandmothers my age, because my mother had me when I was when she was like 37. And it was
back
from
in the
that old
50s.
school, right, back in the 50s. And it was the old school, you know, the way you respect
White
your elders.
gloves.
Yeah,
My mother
oh
played
yeah.
the piano.
Oh yeah, not well, but yes,
Right.
you know, and I think that was it. It was just how we were
It's a different
raised.
culture.
Right.
Yeah,
Different
yeah.
background.
And
we
I'm
were just
fascinated because
raised-
you also have raised a lady. We've seen
Yeah,
your
she's
daughter, and
gorgeous.
she's
yes,
a lady.
she
and
is.
so,
Yes, she is.
and I don't take that lightly because I see people raising girls.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between a woman and a lady.
Totally.
And I think it's a lot to do with the training and
It
the
is.
rearing.
And
I
she's so
think
sweet.
she is. She's beautiful. She is beautiful, and your daughters too. And that's the thing.
I'm
it's
working
like,
on it.
Oh, they're both of your daughters are wonderful. And the thing of it is, it's raising girls now to have respect for themselves, not just to be used to calling themselves the B word. You know, not expecting that a man is never going to open the door for you or do that.
I know you talk.
you know, it's like no, you expect that, and it's like, and another thing, it's important that mothers raise their sons to be men, you know, and not be, you know, not be eternal teenagers.
Yes.
You know?
And not be 40 still playing Xbox on the couch.
I want to thank you
Thank you.
from
Yes.
us. You've done a wonderful. Natasha is.
thank you.
I mean, we love her to death. Thank you. You
Thank
did a
you
wonderful
so
job.
much.
Congratulations with both of your
Thank
girls,
you.
because they're
Yeah,
both
they're
wonderful.
beautiful.
Mine's still a work in progress. We'll see how it ends.
She's beautiful.
You did an excellent job.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
and I love you.
I love you too.
And I love everybody.
And thank you. Thank you to all the moms that came and visit us today. And you can continue the conversation at everywaywoman.com. Bye-bye.